Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Tasha. Let's get into this. No, this is not going to be a segment about the periodic table or any aliens. However, we're going to be getting back to that soon. But the creator is coming through, all right, with these downloads. I wanted to piggyback and kind of do like a part 2 PSA. I've been cleaning, so my voice is like a little raw. I used too much bleach, so I'm going through it. But it was my intentions to record and kind of do like a part 2, like I said yesterday. But the creator gave me a download earlier and he kind of marked it as urgent, okay? There are a lot of souls that have been born that are kind of just like in the middle, right? They can be yanked either way. The creator did this basically for a lot of different reasons, but what he's showing me is for us to start doing our jobs, okay? There are like waves of awakenings. The most popular one for us within the last 30 to 70 into 100 years, because that's how it breaks down when we are speaking in terms of a mass awakening, meaning global, a global shift. From now to 30 years, and then 60 years, and then 100, okay? Moving backwards. But the most recent one was in 2020, okay? And it was actually to prepare us for the shift that we just entered into, that we're currently phasing out. We have a few more days until this Mercury ends its retrograde period, right? And it won't be back for another 88 days, right? That's how Mercury moves backwards. It moves backwards every 88 days for roughly around 21 to 23 point something days, basically 24 days, right? This year was 24 days. Okay, but that's not the topic. I don't want to get too far off. It's related though. So this awakening that we've just arrived in has, and just like any other, has birthed a generation of empty vessels, souls that can be swayed either way, meaning their birth chart is the only coverage that they have. Of course, there are plenty of star seeds amongst the few babies that have been born within the last few years. But for the majority, there are a lot of souls that will need to be saved, okay? That's basically like the gist of all of this, all right? As we start to phase through these last few days, these babies that are born are going to be coveted into some things. The babies coming in to the cycle, meaning when the cycle starts and when the cycle ends, not just this Mercury retrograde, but the shifts that we've been having and been preparing for since the summer of 19, right? Now, obviously, your journey and your spiritual history and maturity will have a great significance on when your awakening occurred, if it happened before 2019 in preparation for this, right? But the whole thing here is people that have been born within that 30-year mark. So if you want to add on 30 years to where we are right now, If you want to add on 60 years and then 100, there are clusters of chosen ones for right now, for in this day and age. So if you know anyone who's like 124, 119, 121, 117, 108, 107, 116, 119, I think I said that, 101, that's some of the people that are hanging on and waiting for those that are 64 and 59 and 47, 51, right? They're going to be moving into that spiritual maturity space because those elders are moving into another dimension in another timeline. And then we who are 34 and 33 and 32 and 31, it's really interesting because from 86, 82, 85, 79, 81 into about 91, coming into 92, there is a really large cluster of starseeds that were born. You would have to simply just look up the placements that were there during those times, and it would give you a grand gesture. Okay, it's an invitation to really, I'm not saying to use anyone's Akashic records or their birth charts, but it's really been a lot of different celestial movements that have led to a lot of starseeds being activated. There's a lot of different activations going on for different time frames, obviously for different reasons. We are all going to be placed in different pockets of the world to play our part in bringing the creator to the forefront, truth to the forefront, fighting off. Obviously, we're going to be using all of our gifts, right, to do this. Fighting off entities, coming against principalities, being leaders, being put in certain situations. And we've had several conversations like about your job in the 3D not being your job in the spirit. It's just so many different things, right? But there are a lot of souls, a lot of vessels that are blank. It's literally a spirit who is strong enough to take form, or it's someone who's just a shell, and any kind of spirit can be attached to them. These people, that's a whole different topic, but these people usually don't procreate. They were usually created by way of magic. Not to say that the creator cannot feel this vessel and control it and consume it, but we need to be wary of people that are just shells and vessels, because they can be taken over any time. Okay? The message was that there are more people who are in this dimension succumbing to the lower vibrational activity, and all of the babies that are coming that have been born, like I said, within the last 34 years have been literally prepared to fight a battle in a war that is not in alignment with the creator. Okay? Not for their highest purpose and highest goods anyway. Okay? We have so many different entities that have been born, new spirits that are coming from different dimensions. As we move in closer to contact with these other timelines and other dimensions, we are also getting the different bacterias from these dimensions, the different spirits, the different frequencies, right? And this brought me to the whole transgender, whatever, trans man, trans woman, cisgender, whatever. Basically, people who are lost about their identity, they're at this crossroads in between their sexuality and their identity. And I mean, the identity part is comprised of many things, right? Your race, your culture, your gender, your financial status, your emotional status, right? There's your spiritual status. There's a lot of different ways for your identity to be categorized, right? And broken down. And then when you flip it over to sexuality now, that is comprised of many different things. I mean, obviously, nature is man and woman. But what's happening is why we're seeing so much of this is because these are some of the souls that are in the ballot. They're hanging in the ballot, okay? Even those people who feel like, I know I'm a man, even though I was born a woman, even though I have ovaries, I'm still a man, vice versa. These are people who are caught in the middle of the crossfire of the biggest war that we will experience for our waking lives, okay? These people, their spirits are at risk of having to repeat a life cycle in a dimension that is dying. Like, that is the issue, right? This dimension is dying. This timeline, we obviously won't be able to get back once it's gone. And people are fusing together their spiritual identities, their social identities, their personal identities with their sexuality, right? In the midst of us seeking a stronger relationship with the Creator, trying to build our spiritual connections, there are so many souls that have no idea which way to go. And the people who are fighting the good fight, you have people who are fighting the good fight, people who are fighting the bad fight, and then you have those souls in the ballot. You have those souls in the middle. And each side is fighting for those souls in the ballot to become closer. When you start to see people detransition during this time, that is because they're vibrating at a particular frequency that has allowed them to become centered and at peace with all of their identities and all of their sexuality. That is a series within itself. And I'm going to check in with the Creator to ask. Most of the time, I don't ask. I'm led, so I'm not going to ask. If the Creator leads me to this series, then we shall get to work, right? But for now, let's just try to stay in our lane and do what God is telling us to do. All right. But yeah, these souls are caught in the ballot, guys. There's so many different layers of this spiritual war that we are fighting. And I'm not sure if this is going to be a part 2 because a lot of the details the Creator gave me in the download did not come out for the podcast. And I'm not sure if He wanted me to keep that to myself or if this is going to be a part 2. But I'm going to end it here. I do hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. I hope you have been drinking your water, eating your fruit and vegetables, and sipping on your own tea because it is most definitely free. All right. Love y'all. Peace.